Hey y'all, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to do the Contradictions Book Tag. So I was tagged by Rachel Reeds. I'll leave her video down below in the description if you want to check that out. And I'm sorry, my bookshelves look like they are crazy. They are in disarray for real because I've been filming a lot of tag videos right now. So we're just going to leave the books out right now, but I may have to put some photos on the screen, all that stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and film this video while I am filming others. So I just filmed the Meet Your Freakout tag and the bookshelf book tag, and now we're gonna film the Contradictions book tag. I just hung my shirt. I mean, that's what we do, right? I mean, I've not done that on one other video before. I wore the same shirt for multiple tag videos, but now I've gotten to where I really want to change my shirt every time. I don't know what it is. This is kind of like all about like, okay, I love this genre, but I didn't like this book, or vice versa, that kind of stuff. So yeah, question number one is, I love this genre but didn't like this book. And I love contemporary romance, but I did not like Meet Me in the Margins by, what's her name? Melissa Ferguson. I am tagged out at this point, but forgive me for brain fog. Plus, I'm really tired. It's like 9:30 at night. So anyway, Melissa Ferguson, okay, I just didn't love this book. It's another book that was like, you know, the whole author publishing trope, but there was just something about her writing style. I've tried to read a couple other books by her. We just don't vibe, you know. I don't always love her writing, and it's just a whole situation of this author is not for me. And I actually finished reading this book. I don't remember what I gave it. I think it was 2.5 stars. I want to say I put 2 stars on Goodreads. I just didn't love it. You know, I felt like we needed more of the guy character in the story, his perspective. I can't even really remember a lot. I read it last year at the beginning of the year. I just didn't love it. It was the first time I remember reading a book by Thomas Nelson, and I realized that they were not really doing faith as much in their books. So, you know, that's okay. But I remember at the time I felt like it really needed faith. I was disappointed. But now I'm a little bit more receptive to that, knowing that that's not always going to be in Thomas Nelson's book, because they may publish just clean reads and not always Christian reads. But yeah, I was disappointed in that at the time. But looking back, I can forgive some of that because it is a good, clean read for a lot of people. But for me, I just didn't love the writing. So I don't plan to read any more of her books just because I don't really vibe with her. All right, number 2. I rarely read this genre, but I loved this book. And same as Celestria, she did this tag recently. I will link her video down below too, but me and her were the same. And that was Counted with the Stars by Connell and Cassette. Biblical fiction. I don't read a ton of biblical fiction. I'm still trying to get into the genre. I have several books of those on my shelf now. A lot of Tessa Afshar, some Misu Andrews, and I really want to try to get into more of the biblical fiction genre, but I still haven't read a lot of them, and this one is my favorite to date. Right, so Kaya is an Egyptian. She was sold into slavery by her father. She's forsaken by the man who she was supposed to marry. And so he ends up going through basically all of the plagues that strike Egypt. And it's really interesting to see like the plagues from their point of view. And it's like takes place during the period of Exodus. And that's one of my favorite time periods in books in the Bible is Exodus. This doesn't really have any real Bible characters in this story, but it follows like the biblical time. Kaya ends up fleeing with the Hebrews, starts to learn more about God, and it's a really good faith story in that. And the last sentence says it all. With everything she's ever known swept away and now facing the trials of the desert, will she turn her back toward Egypt or surrender her life and her future to Yahweh? So it was wonderful. I cried. Really one of the best. It was 5 stars. It was one of my favorites. All right. Question number 3. I love this trope, but didn't like this book. And I don't have this book anymore. Actually, I think it's still in my unhaul pile. Nobody's bought it yet, but I do really like the small town romance, home renovation vibes in a story. I forgot that's another buzzword for me. It's like if it's like a home reno, I really would like to see that. But Pretty Little Pieces by Carmen Schober. I've talked about this book several times. It was very disappointing last year for me. I started off giving it 3 to 4 stars. I can't remember. 3 stars. I don't remember. I knocked it down to 2 because I was just, the more I thought about it, I wasn't okay with some of the content in it. This book was all about Georgina and her boyfriend Lance, I want to say. Let me look at my notes. Yeah, they were supposed to be like this next Chip and Joanna Gaines. And yeah, they were renovating homes for the TV show in Nashville and all this stuff. From the very first chapter, we know that Georgina, she suffered a miscarriage. And so her boyfriend, Lance, was like, gonna take a pause in their relationship. And so he didn't know she was pregnant. The miscarriage made him basically ghost her. And they were together 3 years. So she ends up leaving Nashville to this small town. And so she meets this guy. He's like an ex-sniper, Cassidy. And so they start to really like each other and all that stuff. But the romance is what fell flat. It was so bad. I mean, the book, it's polarizing in the community. I just feel like some of the topics she had in this book could have been handled a little bit better, specifically the drinking scenes. Her whole relationship, I feel like, didn't have much chemistry. I'm remembering exactly why. Because they had these like heavy makeout scenes, and I'm like, what is this? And he's putting his hand up her shirt, and it kind of went a little too far for Christian fiction, in my opinion. It was a bit much, and I just didn't love it. It was just a very insta-love, lustful relationship that I just did not roll with. So, speaking of insta-love, number 4, I hate this trope, but love this book. And that is insta-love. I hate insta-love so bad. But you throw me in with a fairy tale retelling series that, even though it's YA, they got some insta love in it. It's basic, but it's fine. You know, there are lots of quick love yous, but they're fun and a good time. I can't remember if book 2 did that, but I know book 3 and 4 kind of did that. So whatevs. But yeah, they're a good time. Good time. The Dare Cocktails, Melanie Dickerson. So they're a good time. I really like them. I've talked a lot about those lately, and it doesn't matter. Like, even if they say love you, I can overlook it. Because they're just a really good story. And I love the fairy tale vibes and all the things there. So, also for this answer, I would have to say, you know how I said I didn't really love like author stories and publishing and writing and all that stuff in books a lot. I don't love that, but A Novel Proposal by Denise Hunter, I really liked the way she did that. It wasn't too heavy in her writing, so I think that's part of it. Like, you didn't see a lot of her writing process and stuff, so that's part of it. But she was an author. She was writing stories, you know, she's talking to her publisher a little bit about things, and, you know, she wrote Westerns, and they were wanting her to write romance. It's this guy next door, and so she's, you know, he's in a duplex, and they're on a beach, and she has like a little free library, and they find some like mysterious ring in a book, and it's like, what is this ring, you know? And so her and this guy next door kind of have this romance, and they're working together for this mystery to figure out whose ring is this. I loved it. It was really great. So it was well done. So I wanted to mention that, because even though I don't necessarily love that trope of like authors, I don't know if that's a trope, I just like the whole vibe of author writing in books and stuff, that one I really liked. So all right, number 5. I love this author, but didn't like this book. Do y'all want to know what this is? Honey. Okay, so Tammy Gray. I love Tammy Gray. Okay, I've read 4 of her books so far. And this trilogy, y'all remember me last year, honey. I was struggling on trying to tell y'all about this. But number 3, Loving the Dream Come True. I just didn't love it. I didn't really like the girl in this, Lexi. And it was what it was. I'm not going to say the guy's name because you know, it's a guy that's been in the series for most of the whole time. But I just didn't love the way that this ended for this guy, you know. And I really feel like a part of this is we do not like him in book 2, really. I just didn't like him in book 2. So then by the time I'm getting to read his story, I'm like, I need some like really good faith development for this character. And it just never happened. And I felt like he needed to get his stuff together with his faith walk before he jumped into this big relationship with Lexi. And I was like, I don't even like her. She was almost like infatuated with him. You know, she was, you know, he was like all into this band music stuff, and she was just like almost like this infatuation of him, like he's this celebrity type figure for her. And it was just a bit much. Like he was kind of like an idol for her, and I just didn't love that. So yeah, this one I didn't love as much. I think I give it 2.5 to 3 stars, can't remember. But yeah, I did really like number 1 and 2 though. And I love Tammy Gray. Her writing is top tier in every other book I've read. They've really gripped me. So, and again, it just goes to show you sometimes a book that even though you love an author, you may not always vibe with one of their books, but that's okay. You know, this series is really a 5-star series overall because these 2 books, Love and a Little White Lie, and then Love and the Silver Lining, plus the covers are gorgeous. So I had to keep the 3rd book. Like, I can't just get rid of this yet. I'm not at the point where I can get rid of book 3. I may reread it at some point and see if it was just like me at the time. But like, yeah, I can't get rid of it because they go together so well. So Yeah, I love Tammy Young Great though. She is wonderful. Writes great contemporary romance. I hope she continues to write in the future. I know right now I don't think she's writing anything, but I would love to see more of her books and can't wait to read more of her stuff from the past, her backlist, all that stuff. All right, number 6. I previously disliked a book by this author, but I love this book. And so I think Jamie Jo Wright is the right answer for this. I almost said Nadine Brandes, but see, I read Wistress first and loved it and then didn't like Fox. So that really don't go for the answer because it's you previously disliked a book by this author, but then you loved these books, okay? So that could go the other way. But Jamie Jo Wright, like I said in another video, I talked about how I didn't love The Souls of Lost Lake. It was a bit too scary and creepy for me. Lizzie Borden vibes, the whole axe thing, it was a bit much for me. So I DNF'd it like 20% in, I want to say. But these two, The Vanishing at Castle Moreau and Echoes Among the Stones, I really enjoyed both of these. The Castle Moreau book was like, wow, it really got me emotional, made me cry. I said that in another tag video, but I truly love these books. So I'm definitely going to read more of her books in the future because they just, her endings in these two books really got me. And I was just invested from the first chapter in both of these. So yeah, definitely Jamie Jo because these last two books I've read by her, honey, top tier. Question number 7. I love this cover, but not the book. And I have to say, I wrote this down when I wrote these down earlier. Something Old, Something New by Amy Clipston. This cover is gorgeous to me. There's just something about the summer vibes of this cover. You know, I'm thinking of it right now. It's got like, you know, just this gazebo, the lights, the colors. I love it. But I didn't love the book. It was just okay, you know? Like, I never connected with the characters. It's forgettable. Gave it 3 stars. Moved on. A lot of y'all may like it. But I was like, whatever. And it, again, it didn't have any faith content, but it didn't have to, you know, but it would have been nice if it did. But it was just a clean romance. And it was forgettable. So, yeah, I just didn't love it. Tell me one y'all might like by her, but I've only read that one, you know, so I really can't say. Again, I can't be, you know, one book may not do it, but y'all just need to let me know. Is there one by Amy Clipston that I should read and give a chance? Because this one I just didn't love. So she writes some Amish Christian fiction, and I don't normally read a lot of Amish Christian fiction. I've read some, but if you know one that's like a contemporary romance, let me know. Question number 8, and this is the last question. I love the cover. What? Oh, I didn't love the cover. I can't read. I didn't love the cover. I was like, where is it? I didn't love the cover, but liked the book. And I've unhauled it since then, I think. Yeah, I've unhauled that book. But I did really like this book, and it was Truth Stained Lies by Terry Blackstock. Some of Terry Blackstock's covers are so dated, but the books are so good. So, like, I feel like this one is definitely dated. Suffers from the datedness. so yeah, I just didn't like this cover, really. But I do like the book. The story was good. And then I think Unlocked by Karen Kingsbury. That was another one I thought of, Unlocked. I mean, I get it because the piano's a big part and he's got music. This book really impacted me. It's about an 18-year-old autistic boy. And I just loved the stuff with his mom and really related to the journey of his parents in this and stuff. And I love the ending. It made me cry. But the cover of this just doesn't do it justice. And then the back always has like a face on it. Honey, just get a better cover than this. That's pretty much it for this video. Let me know some of your answers to these questions down below in the comments. If you found this video, let me know down below in the comments so I can watch it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, y'all.